If it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck and it swims like a duck, I don't care if you think God told you to do it. I don't care if your pastor told you to do it. I don't care if everybody in your church is involved. God did not tell you to go join a Ponzi scheme. If it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, and swims like a duck, it's probably a duck.
So, you may have heard about Ponzi schemes in the news. Everybody knows they're illegal, but you might not understand how they work. So Ben is here to show us. To start off, Ben gets a few people to invest their money with him. At the end of the year, he gives those clients amazing returns that beats every other investor in the market. Needless to say, the investors are thrilled. In fact, they're so ecstatic about all the money they're making that they tell all their friends and family about it too, who tell their friends, who tell their friends. In the stock market, most investors make money some years and lose money others. But Ben's Ponzi scheme? Yeah, it never loses money. In fact, it always beats the market by a huge margin. But the returns he pays to these people aren't from actual profits. He just takes the money these new guys invest and gives it to these guys. But as soon as you can't get enough new money from this group to pay these people, then the whole pyramid starts to crumble because they're not getting paid anymore. Ben and these guys who invested first made a killing, but these folks lost all their money. So the next time a guy like Ben tries to get you to invest in something that sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Just ask Ben.
If you've learned a lot about leadership and making a movement, then let's watch a movement happen start to finish in under 3 minutes and dissect some lessons. First, of course, a leader needs the guts to stand alone and look ridiculous. But what he's doing is so simple, it's almost instructional. This is key. You must be easy to follow. Now here comes the first follower with a crucial role. He publicly shows everyone else how to follow. Notice how the leader embraces him as an equal. So it's not about the leader anymore, it's about them, plural. Notice how he's calling to his friends to join in. So it takes guts to be a first follower. You stand out and you brave ridicule yourself. Being a first follower is an underappreciated form of leadership. The first follower transforms a lone nut into a leader. If the leader is the flint, the first follower is the spark that really makes the fire. Now here's the second follower. This is a turning point. It's proof the first has done well. Now it's not a lone nut and it's not two nuts. 3 is a crowd and a crowd is news. A movement must be public. Make sure outsiders see more than just the leader. Everyone needs to see the followers because new followers emulate followers, not the leader. Now here come 2 more people, then 3 more immediately. Now we've got momentum. This is the tipping point and now we have a movement. As more people jump in, it's no longer risky. If they were on the fence before, there's no reason not to join in now. They won't stand out, they won't be ridiculed, and they will be part of the in crowd if they hurry. And over the next minute you'll see the rest who prefer to stay part of the crowd, because eventually they'd be ridiculed for not joining. And ladies and gentlemen, that is how a movement is made.
Tell them what we're doing here.
We're getting ready to kick off Eyeline trading tomorrow, so make sure and get to Bitcoin Rodney and find out what the deal's about.
Tell them why it's so real.
Well, the reason it's so real, what we wanted to do was we have Joel Paul Ramirez coming, who's with Eyeline Business Development, which is who provides all of our products and all of our stuff. We have all his lawyers coming, so the people can just see how real it is. They can meet with the people themselves, see everything behind it, and make up their own mind. So bottom line, anything to do in crypto, it's a very volatile market, it's a very risky market. People have to make the decision if they want to play or not play.
That's right.
Bottom line. But what we're trying to do is give people the opportunity that they can participate for as little as, I'll say $40, but it's actually approximately 0.006 Bitcoin. So around $40, there's no requirement more than that. So if anybody wants to put in more than that, it's really their choice. So we're trying to show people how to create wealth by putting a little bit of money to work for them. and then create leverage by referring it to a couple other people. But you'll see tomorrow, Rodney, I'm going to go through and show people if all you did was put in 0.006, never another penny out of pocket. So you're risking a total of approximately $40 USD.
Right. Or Bitcoin.
Or it's in Bitcoin, but
Okay,
it's 0.006.
Okay,
I was just
there you
saying what that equivalent is.
Right.
So, and obviously if Bitcoin goes up, it'll be a little bit less. If Bitcoin goes down, it'll be a little bit more. But
Right.
right now, it's approximately 0.0065 Bitcoin for one package.
Right.
Now, if you referred 3 people in a month, and they duplicated that same thing,
Right.
in your first year, with never going any more out of pocket than 0.0065,
Right.
you're going to have earned more than 600,000 USD. Now, if it just goes another 6 months, and if people are just compounding even 10%,
Right.
it's going to go to over 10 million.
Oh my God.
So the whole thing that people think that I got to spend all this money, I got to do all this stuff. No, we want to show people the true principle of wealth.
Right.
Put a little bit of money to work for you.
Right.
Create leverage by building a team.
Right.
And I mean, I can show anybody how to make $10 million in 18 months and never spend more than 0.006.
I'll be there for that.
So I had a really interesting conversation this morning with what I'm sure she's a super, super nice lady who was telling me all about how she was earning 1% per day in, she could show me how to, you know, how to grow my money and how to invest my money so that I could get at least a 1% return every day on my money. And so I had sent her a note back. And of course, you see this coming a mile away. If you've been in, I was going to say the home business industry, but actually most adults at some point in time have seen a Ponzi scheme before. But just for the sake of argument, I went ahead and just said, are you talking about, you know, some type of a join the business and invest your money and you get 1% per day? And here, anyway, long story short, she gets back with me and she says, yeah, this is, you know, it's Bitcoin, and you invest in Bitcoin, and the company takes your money and they invest it for you, and yeah, and they pay you back 1% per day. And I said, okay, well, you know, I hate to be the one to break it to you, but is the name of the company this? And she told me the name of the company. And I said, well, you're in a straight up Ponzi scheme. And again, super nice lady, and I hate to sound like I'm making fun of her because I'm really not. But she said, well, God told me to join. And in so many words, basically, that she had prayed about it. She had read scripture. She trusted her reputable Christian leaders who told her that this was something that you know, God had led them into, and that their whole, you know, a lot of their church and everybody was getting involved. And oh man, it broke my heart for the lady, because I really believe her. I suspect that she is an incredibly moral and ethical person. I suspect that she really would never knowingly join an illegal Ponzi scheme. And yet, because of either ignorant, uneducated, or dishonest people, she has apparently put quite a lot of money into this thing. And so let's just talk about this. First of all, if you don't know what a Ponzi scheme is, let me explain what a Ponzi scheme is. This is nothing new. And let me go ahead and clarify too that Bitcoin is a currency. Bitcoin is fantastic. I love Bitcoin. I love Bitcoin. Bitcoin's fantastic. Even better than Bitcoin is the underlying blockchain technology and cryptocurrency in general. I think all that's fantastic. But it's also lately has become the playground for the usual people to come in and set up and run Ponzi schemes. So if you don't know what a Ponzi scheme is, it's not the same as a pyramid scheme. And a lot of people use those terms interchangeably. So let me tell you what a Ponzi scheme is. It's named after Charles Ponzi. I'm not going to give you a history lesson, but the basic gist of it is this. And they've been around forever, decades, okay? So I will, as a matter of fact, I'm not even going to name the name of the company we're talking about just yet. But let me give you an example of a Ponzi scheme that's not even related to the internet, not even related to Bitcoin or cryptocurrency or whatever. Okay, so a basic Ponzi scheme is where somebody says to you, hey, if you'll invest your money with me, I've got this special thing, this magic mojo. I got this magic box over here that what I'll do is I'll take your money and I'll put it in this magic box, and no, you can't see it. It's over here. Can't let you see it because it's magic. Okay, but I'm going to take your money and I'm going to put it with my money and everybody else's money, and we're going to put it over here in this magic box. No, you can't see it, but because of the magic mojo that we've got going on in this box, that lets me then turn around and give you back your money plus this enormous interest rate or return on investment. Usually, lately, the number you hear about is, like 1% per day. But, in old style Ponzi schemes, it was like hey, double your money or 50% return and that kind of thing. And the way it works is you say, and here's the thing, a lot of people justify these programs by saying, but look at all this money people are making. And they are, but that's how a Ponzi scheme works. Yes, they do pay for a while. But when you understand where the money comes from in these programs, you're going to understand why they all fail. They have a 100% mortality rate. Every one of them always crash and burn and usually roll up in the middle of the night like a window shade, taking everybody's money with them. Okay? So here's where the money comes from. Let's just say $100. Let's say you give the Ponzi operator or a rep in a Ponzi company $100, and they put it over here in the magic mojo box. And no, you can't see it because we do something super secret. So it might be that they're investing it. They might be saying it's a special mutual fund. They might be, in the case of Bitcoin, they might say they're mining it. They might say that they are arbitrage. They're buying it on one network for this price and a different network for that price. Whatever. Okay, it doesn't matter what they say. The fact that you can't see it. It's this super secret magic box. Okay, so you put $100 in, and they say it goes in the magic box. And it's going to take a little time, right? It's going to take about 100 days for you to get your money back. Or it's going to take a certain, week or two. It depends on the Ponzi scheme. Now, do you get your money back? Yes. Yeah, probably. Because it's not a short con. See, there's a short con. A short con is where somebody says, hey, give me $100. You give them $100, and they hightail it. They run for the hills, right? They're out of there. They got your $100 bill. That's just theft, right? That's a very short con. A long con is where you could say the Ponzi operator comes back and says, hey, here's your $100, and here's another $100 that you got out of the magic box. Bravo! Well, the natural inclination, either as a suggestion or a requirement or a strong piece of advice, is to say, you ought to do it again. And you're thinking, these people are honest. I was a little doubtful, but I put my money in and I got my money out and they paid me. It was even a little more than they said it would be. So, yeah, here's $500. Now, they could run for the hills, but that's still a short con, and it's $500, right? Instead, they say, oh, you want to go again? Okay, well, thank you for the $500. Let's put it over here in the magic mojo box. It's over here. No, you can't see it. We can't tell you about it. We can't show it to you. We can't let you see the track record. Can't let you see any historical data. can't show you the shape, color, size, smell of the box, can't tell you who's running it. Just trust me. And a little while later, you're kind of like, man, I hope this works. But I see they're making money, and I see they're making money, and that guy's making money. And sure enough, they come back and say, here's your $500. And by the way, the magic money box gave you another $500. So you're thinking, hey, I've done this twice now. This is fantastic. This is amazing. You know what? I don't get this kind of a return on my money at the bank. You know, let me pull out some money out of my 401k. Let me pull out some money out of my retirement. Right? So they say, all right, I'm still nervous, but you know what? I'll do 10,000 this time. Now again, they could run for the hills, but you know what? Let's just put that 10 back in. And by the way, let's go ahead and put that 1,000 back in and the 200 back in. And see, this is where the psychology of fear of missing out starts rolling in, is because the idea is that the proof of having earned the income is as good as the income. So you talk to these people that are in these programs and they'll say, well, I've made $100,000. Like, yeah, but you put it all back in the magic box. You don't actually have it. You know, you may have some of it, or you may have took some of it back out, but you put a lot of it back in. That's fine, whatever. But here's where the money actually comes from. Okay? There's no magic box. There's no magic box. There's no mysterious super secret trading algorithm. There's no magic software that's returning incredible, returns on investment. Instead, when they paid you the 500, let's go back to the first example. When you gave in 100 and they paid you back 200, well, 100 of that was from Joe that signed up yesterday, and 100 of that was from Betty that signed up yesterday. That's not your $100 plus a return on investment. In a Ponzi scheme, the money that's paid out today comes from the suckers who paid in yesterday. Now, the reason that works is because you get to actually show that money was paid out. Yay! Wow, it worked. Let's go again. So when you put in 500, well, that allows the company to pay that out tomorrow to 5 other people who are owed $100, right? Now, but you start to see the mathematical problem. Because if I'm promising you more money than you put in, and I'm going to get that money from somebody else who bought in yesterday, well, then that means that there's always this looming responsibility to have to go get more money to pay out. So like when somebody puts in $10,000 and they get out whatever the pitch is, 15,000, 20,000, whatever the pitch is. Well, that just means they got to go find 20 other people to put money in. Okay? Now, this may not be 100%. In other words, some of the money could come from some type of stock trading activity or Forex trading or Bitcoin trading. Some of the money could be legitimate. But when somebody says to you, use some common sense, folks. Okay? I'm not trying to be abrasive here, and I'm certainly not a know-it-all. There's a lot I don't know. But let's use a little bit of common sense. If a company said to you, I want you to buy this stock, I'm not going to show you a profit and loss statement. I'm not going to show you the books. I'm not going to show you our cash flow. You can't know anything about how our operations work, and I'm not going to show you a prospectus, but I want you to buy the stock. You'd be like, get out of here, you're crazy. And yet it's a peculiar thing about the network marketing home business industry that a company can say to you, we want you to give us your money. We're going to put it in this magic box over here, and no, you can't see it, and no, we won't tell you exactly what's happening. You can't see any historical data. We won't let you see the trades. We won't let you see the algorithms. We won't let you see the real-time results. You can see nothing, but we want you to give us your money. And then, somehow that's more attractive. It's bizarre. It's genuinely bizarre. So the problem, for those of you who are analytically minded, the problem with the Ponzi scheme is that they always collapse under the weight of their own mathematics. unless they can pivot really, really fast and somehow manage to start paying out the money from a legitimate form of a legitimate financial source, like actually doing something that pays that money, as opposed to this magic box that doesn't exist. Unless they can pivot, and pivot pretty darn quick, well, what ends up happening is the amount of money that has to get paid out today, they can't ever get enough people to put money back in to satisfy what they owe today. And so here's how these things usually wind up. They usually wind up with somebody saying, the Ponzi scheme, the Ponzi operator usually winds up somewhere like, hey guys, listen, we've got some software updates we need to do, so we're not going to trade on Friday. Okay, we're going to resume trading on Monday, but on Friday there won't be any payouts. When you hear that, go ahead and start looking for the exit sign. If you're unfortunate enough to already be in one, and put your money in one. And if you've gotten other families to invest their money in something, when the company starts saying, hey, we're going to take a break from paying out because we've got to we got to paint the magic box. It needs a new coat of paint. Or we got to get some new hinges on the magic box. Listen, pay attention to me. That's when you need to start thinking seriously about what you've got yourself into. God did not tell you to go join a Ponzi scheme.